welcome to the Knitting Samurai Plus One video podcast. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai, and this is episode 63, Tables Are Turned. If you're a new viewer, I want to thank you for joining me, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming to visit every week, or 10 days or so, here in Seacoast, New Hampshire, and hearing what's going on in my knitting world. I love sharing it with you. So, Linus has just joined us, and I have to say, straight off the bat, so sorry. I am so sorry. So, you know how I mentioned there was a computer issue, and I had ordered a new computer? Well, I thought I could get away with one more recording with the old computer. This is what I'm blaming it on. And it looked fine on my camera screen. It looked fine on my camera screen. It looked fine on my computer screen itself. But then when I published it, somehow the video quality was so poor and it was just black. It was a witness protection, like Joyce said. It was a witness protection video. So sorry about that. I'm going to show you everything that I showed last week. I forgot one thing. Just to bring you guys up to speed. So, hold on. So, what we have here is my Jackaroo sweater by Amy Herzog. I still haven't sewn on my buttons. I know. But I will, and that's telling me where to put them. This is Barocco Vintage, US size 7, 4.5 millimeter needles. Pretty quick knit. I did it in just under a month. I did finish all of my knitting in time for Stash Dash. Whoop, whoop. Yes, there are some ends to be woven in. I said last time this side of the body is woven in, this side is not. It was a lot of ends. I think I used... Well, I know I used 5 skeins, which is crazy because the pattern for my size called for 1,500 yards, and I used 1,133 yards, so I have a lot left over, but not quite enough to make Ro a hat. I made a baby hat with it, with some, but I would like to make him a sweater. I think it'd be cute. Like, this is a great red, but it would be a great Christmas red. Ooh, maybe I should get some green and do like a color work yoke for him, and then do the body in red. That might be cute. He has had a hand knit sweater on every Thanksgiving. Yeah. Every Thanksgiving. So maybe red isn't the greatest color. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. So this is my Jackaroo. You could see, maybe you can see this twisted stitch detail. It doesn't look all that different at the bottom. I'm not gonna, I guess I could stand up. I don't know if you'll see anything. We'll try. So that's how the bottom looks. The 2x2 rib. I did fix on the front panel the edging so that it looks normal to me. Yeah, that's how it is. So here's the sausage shot. Yeah, it's a little more fitted than I would like. But again, blocking the finished garment as opposed to blocking the pieces, I might be able to squeak it out a little bit, get it more where I'd like it to be. So there's my finished Jackaroo. So excited. So this sweater is the result, and my shoulder seaming came out pretty well. I am pleased with that. This sweater is the result of me taking the Knit to Flatter class. If you've been watching the podcast for a while, you're probably sick of hearing about this class. But the goal of this Craftsy class, oh, there's a paper bag on the table, and of course that is the only place Mac wants to be. Okay. The point of the Craftsy class is to knit your next favorite sweater. The Jackaroo came out really nice. I look forward to wearing it this winter, but it, sad to say, will not be my next favorite sweater. I mean, the fact that it's fitted, I feel like a sausage. I know that's me being self-conscious, and being fitted will make me look smaller, right? Having it skim over my curves will make me look smaller than a big box. I know that in my head. That doesn't mean I feel completely comfortable wearing it, right? Or I'm fine wearing it open with that like 2-inch gap. So that's probably how I'll wear it. But I spent 2 days this week just beside myself. Oh my God, I have to knit another sweater. I want another sweater on the needles. What can I do for a sweater? Just crazy wanting a sweater. And so I used the pattern search. I wanted to make sure it was a sweater knit in pieces. I wanted nice long vertical lines to elongate my torso. And I wanted, what else did I want? Not that I have a short torso, but I just think that long vertical lines make you look thinner. pieces, oh, I had a certain, I wanted to use DK weight yarn. And in the end, after like no joke, I probably put 4 hours into searching for this next sweater, and nothing in my pattern books, nothing in my queue, nothing that was hot right now was attracting me, because it was all top down, and I don't want to do a top down all at once. I want to keep doing the pieces. I really like the pieces, and I think the structure of the seams helps the garment fit you better. So this is what I chose. This is the Assimilar, wait, I have to look at it, Assimilar by Amy Herzog as well. So my hope is that this will be my next favorite sweater. I went to the yarn shop, my LYS, and Roland helped me. And I picked out what I thought was a beautiful skein of gray yarn. And it is a beautiful skein, but in the daylight, this is clearly, let me tell you the number. So this is Cascade 220 Heathers in color 7806, and it was at the front of the shop right next to the window, so it was in daylight. I don't know, I was confused. This is clearly a lavender gray color, so it's gorgeous. But I laughed the other night, so I cast on at like 9 at night. I was knitting, had a little confusion about the stitch pattern for the, of course I started with the sleeves because that's how you do your swatching in my world. So I had a little confusion about this stitch pattern. I probably got to about here, and then got up the next morning and worked on it some more. And I get up early, 5, so it's dark. And I can sit quiet and drink my coffee and knit and watch my podcasts, and it's a great way to start the day, and according to me. And by 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, when it was time to go, get ready, get going, and I looked at it, I thought, that is so purple. I'm knitting a purple sweater. I didn't mean to knit a purple sweater. Not really looking for a purple sweater in my wardrobe, but it is definitely, I mean, there are hints of, here, let me try and be patient, hints of gray and red in the gray, green and red, teal and red in the gray. So it's a really interesting heathered yarn, but it is, it's not straight up gray like I was looking for. So, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm still excited about it. I just wanted to tell you, I thought that was fun. So this is knit on US size 7s again, 4.5 millimeter needles. I do have the first sleeve done. So it is, the sleeve called for this massively, let me pull up my picture again. The cuff for my size would have been very, very belled. More belled than I was comfortable with. And for a full length sleeve, like you could see her shirt, undershirt is going over her knuckles. Yeah, over her hand to her knuckles. So I didn't want bells that long. They were going to get caught. They were going to get dragged through the water when I washed my hands at work. They're just, no. So I decided that my favorite gray sweater, store-bought gray sweater that I have now is A-line. It's really, it's big and it's square and it's cute. But the sleeves are about this long. And so I decided to adjust. I can do math, but I didn't do it very well this time. And so I was not finished making all of my increases to get the right width around my upper bicep when the armhole starts. So I had to go an extra, I think I actually went an extra inch and a half in order to get to the correct stitch count there. But that caused my sleeve to be slightly longer than my intended. But I'm fine with that. Either way, I'll be active in it, and it'll look great. So there's my first sleeve. Yay! First sleeve done. I did mess up. I have so much to tell you about this. I did make some errors in the pattern. It took me about 2 full repeats to figure out what was going on with the stitch details and I'm very big on getting a mnemonic or some sort of visualization in my head that allows me to memorize it. I can't just memorize the stitches. I've got to make sense of what the lace is doing. Does that make sense to you? I've got to visualize what's going on with my stitches, where the knit twos are going and yarn overs, and okay, I can see that it's making an S shape, say. So once I realized that, then it went gangbusters. I stopped having to look at the chart every couple rows, and piece of cake. Because when I started, I was thinking on every row until it was a little slow. Every row, ha ha ha. Since we're talking about it, no. He's transitioning daycares. All right, so Steve has a full-time job now, and that our current daycare is located in the town. I don't know if I told you this or not, so please forgive me if I did. I am very scattered lately. Our current daycare is in the town that we live in, which is half an hour away from where I work and now 20 minutes away from where Steve works. A standard daycare day is 9 hours. A standard work day for me is 9 hours plus that hour, half an hour on each end makes a 10-hour day, and it's slightly less for Steve, right? So we made the decision to move him to the daycare at my office, which we were going to put him there for preschool anyways. They have this amazing preschool program, and I just found out today that they're now including Spanish as part of the lesson, so wow. Anyways, so we're moving him there. So this week, so instead of Steve being solely responsible and taking Roland to drop off and pick up, or being home with him during the day, now I'm doing drop off and pick up, obviously, and it's just a lot for me. It's a lot. Like, my coworkers keep checking on me. How are you doing? It's like, ah! But it's going good so far. So this past week we did 2 days in the new place. Camera hog. 2 days in the new place and 3 days at the old place, but now he's officially done, and next week he'll be doing 5 days in the new place. So I don't know why I told you about that. Oh, because I said row. So this daycare transitioning, he's not sleeping so great anymore. Like, where's daddy? He always wants to be around daddy because he's used to spending a lot more time with Steve than he has been lately. And yeah, so all this to tell you, I hope you don't mind diapers. If you do, you might want to skip through the Row video segment this week, because I'm going to put one in of Steve and Roland playing. It was hilarious. Row is an airplane. This is his thing, right? I told you we went plane spotting the other day. He loves to run around the house pretending to be a plane. And so he was running up to Steve on the edge of the couch, and Steve was lifting him up and bouncing him down into the cushions behind him, and it was hilarious to listen to that little guy laugh. So that video will be at the end. But if you don't like diapers, Roland happened to be wearing just a t-shirt and his diaper that day. I know. I was really against it, but there are days when it is so hot here, and yeah, so we end up with him in non-water clothes.
Cheese!
Okay, all that to say, row. Yeah, and did you know it's August? He will be 2 on September 3rd. Oh my God, it's coming, big boy. So, what else do we have to talk about? I have so much to show you. And I'm really kind of warm. Yeah, it's 75 degrees with like 110% humidity here today. Really, it is. It is. And you know, it's time. It's totally time. It is time to talk about the Knitting Samurai +1 colorway knit along that we are doing with Inspiration Dye Works. I'm so pleased that Laura agreed to dye up this colorway for us to do a knit along starting September 15th. That'll run until October 31st. If you're interested, you can go over to the Inspiration Dye Works Etsy shop and pre-order your skein there. As of this morning, she only had 3 skeins of the Fluffy Plus, which is the 80-20. It's her 2-ply 80-20 merino nylon, superwash merino nylon blend. 3 skeins of that left, and that's it. After that, it's just the basic sock that's available, which is a 4-ply 75-25 merino nylon, I believe. The 2-ply, I'll get you better stitch definition if you're going to do some sort of fancy stitches. But the basic sock is just as nice and will wear just as well, I'm sure, with that 4-ply. So, if you're interested, oh, please go pre-order. It's so much fun. I have been queuing projects to knit with self-striping yarn, but I didn't bring my iPad over here. So next week, I'm going to probably start a thread in the board to discuss it too, just to kick off. Let's all start thinking about, because I don't want to just do a pair of plain vanilla socks with my special colorway here. I want to do something else. So whether that's a cool baby hat or a cowl or some fingerless mitts, just so I can see it. I don't want to put it on my feet. I want it closer. Not that there's anything wrong with vanilla socks. I mean, even the Vanilla Bean socks by Emily McGrady, Emily of the What You're Swatching podcast. Her pattern would be awesome. Awesome with these. Especially with the color variation between the teal and the dark too. And what are you doing laughing at me? Of course it's going to be these colors. I would have said, of course it would be purple, but a lot of people are telling me, of course it's going to be teal. And I said that to Steve, and he was like, yeah, teal's your favorite color. Unbeknownst to me. So that is going on. You know what else? We have a knit along that's running right now through October, the end of October. Oh, they're going to end at the same time. It's a baby blanket knit along. Yeah. So each month you can enter a different FO, a different finished baby blanket into the prize drawing. And there's a drawing every month. So it is now August. We've been at this since May. So at the end of August, you can have 4 baby blankets pictured in the thread and get 4 chances to win. I don't know what yet. Probably a pattern this month. I'm thinking pattern because I'm doing a, free pattern. So here is my blanket. In case you were wondering, this is what I'm working on. I talked about it because that I wanted to knit it for a while. The Cousins Miter Square Baby Blanket by Emily Payne, and this is knit on US size 8 with Lion Brand Cottonese. The main color is lime, and then this violet was supposed to be my secondary color, but then I thought it would be more fun to mix in some other colors. So I'm going, it's just going to be these 4, the rose color, the lake, I think is the color. I think this one's berry, and this is rose, and this is violet, if I am remembering correctly, because you know I do use a lot of this stuff. So it's supposed to be 4 squares by 4 squares, and then you do a knit border on it. This is a free pattern over on Rav if you're interested. I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about it. Quick, easy knit. I like doing measured squares. I find them fun. So I did these last weekend. I cast them on before the end of Stash Dash, before I had reached my goal, just because I was like, I cannot look at this sock anymore. I need to do something else. So I worked on this instead. So there's that. So yay, I'm in my knit along again. Yes, knit along with me, but not with me. What else? What else? I keep saying that. I'm sorry. It's like my filler. Oh, can I tie up my hair? It's just so hot. Oh, so hot. It's not hot. It's humid. It's not hot at all. But, so, oh, I'm not ready to show you what's in this bag. I am ready to show you the graduation socks. So, last week you probably couldn't see them, but I talked about finishing I had one done back in June, and this is Opal Save the Seas. Knit on, Opal Save the Seas yarn, knit on US 1s, 2.25 millimeter needles, and I think I had like a toe last week that I was showing you. So I knit the first sock over my cousin's graduation. I worked on it over a 4-day weekend and was so sick of looking at it that I just put the socks away. And then I decided, hey, I can whip out that second sock. That'll get me 300 plus yards for Stash Dash. It'll push me over the goal. All right, I'll do that. So what ended up happening is I worked gangbusters on this second sock. Tuesday we went down for a work trip. We went to Boston and I didn't drive. So that got me an extra, I want to say 2 hours of knitting in that day. And so I worked on this nonstop, and yeah, I was so sick of looking at it again. It was weird. It was like this weird deja vu. So even though this color is pretty, I'm not a fan of these socks. And I was looking at them going, I don't think she'll like them. I don't think she'll like them. And I showed them to my mom, and my mom was like, those are very pretty. What's wrong with you? I'm like, well, I'm probably burnt out on the color because I did them too intense twice. So won't do that again. I am definitely monogamous. Don't make me be. No, other way around. Don't make me be monogamous. I can't do it. It hurts my brain. So, lastly on the needles, right? Because when one sock comes off, another sock must go on. There must always be a sock on the needles. I had my friend Laura at Inspiration Dye Works. Yeah, my friend Laura. do a custom colorway for me. So that, there's a toe. Here's a toe of it. She calls this highlighter green. I call it neural handshake because it's inspired partly in my brain. I don't know why. It's connected to Pacific Rim, the movie that I am so in love with. I know. Hopefully it's the last weekend it's going to be in theaters, and maybe Ro can go spend time with his meme, and Mommy and Daddy can go see it in the IMAX again. We'll see if I get my way. Yeah, at least every other day Steve asks me if we're going tonight. Are we going tonight? To what? See the movie that he's already seen 3 times and I've seen twice. No, we're not fans of that movie. So anyways, here's the first one. So this is a great black, purple, and green stripe. It's a little bit Halloween-y in my head, but I love it, love it, love it. So I knit this around some coworkers too, and they were just like, whoa, that is bright. So I can't wait to wear them this fall and freak them out, because I know it's gross, but yeah, my shoes don't stay on my feet all the time at work. And especially if I have socks on. So it'll be fun to freak them out with these. So this is in my quest for the perfect fitting sock for a size 11 foot, as knit by Stephanie. Cast on 16 inches for the toe, so it's very rounded toe. 16, did I say stitches or inches? 16 stitches on each needle. Increased up to 64 stitches instead of 68, like the last pair. 64 stitches, but did a 3x2 rib, so hopefully that should get me the right amount of negative ease, but not too much negative ease. Yeah, see my socks, the 64 2x2s were coming out too tight for my foot. So I'm thinking that 64 3x2 should have a little less negative ease. Hypothetically, there'll be less cinching in. We'll see how it goes. So that's where I am right now. I have done 1 set of gusset increases, so I am just starting to heal. So that's where those are at. Those are my purse knitting. And now we come to the point in the show where I give you the 2013 goals update. Sorry, I can't help being a little silly. It's Friday afternoon, August 8th, and it's just, yay, the weekend's here, you know? After this crazy week of lots of dropping, I have to buy a new purse. I can't carry my purse, my laptop, my coffee, my child's bag, and my child, who sometimes will walk and sometimes wants to be carried, into work. I can't do it. So now I got this big messenger bag to put the laptop in, and it's going to double as a purse on the pouchy side, so hopefully, I know, I'm totally stressed about this. I'm totally stressed. Look at me, I'm being a mom. So, 2013 update, that's what this was supposed to be. So let's see, 13 self-striping socks. I have finished with the graduation socks and the Caution Bruin socks. I have now finished 8 pairs. It's August. I'm almost, I would say I'm I am 2/3 of the way through my September pair, so I am now like a little bit ahead, because you know, to do 13 socks in 12 months you have to do more than 1 a month. So I am well on my way. So yeah. 13 patterns from books, not so much. I didn't do any this past month since we last did a goal update, so I'm still at 5 patterns from books. I need to do some more hats. They're great quick knits. I will get on that and finish the I can't think of what they're called, but the mitts for my boss, because she was one of the people that I went down to Boston with, and she was just like, knit? You knit? You haven't told me this. You knit? Let me see that. So I know she'd be really happy with something hand knit for Christmas. What else? The vest for my dad, 2 baby blankets, or 3 Christmas stockings. Yeah, mine is. You are perched very precariously, and him chinning the camera is not great. So anyways, okay, so for that I've only done 2 baby blankets. Well, I've done more than 2 baby blankets, but the goal, I haven't done the 3 Christmas stockings. And I'm thinking that might be a fun thing to do in October? Nah, it's too early to feel Christmassy. Maybe November. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm going to finish that one, if I'm honest. And then 13 sweaters. All right, so I have my sweater mojo back, obviously. I worked on the Peasy, the pink sweater. I called it Grace. It's the Peasy. I worked on that in the last 2 weeks. I finished my Jackaroo, and I cast on the Asimar. So here we go, sweaters. There's no way I'm going to knit 13 between now and December 31st. I know that, you know that, let's be honest. Unless I knit roll and 10 sweaters. So I do have 3 out of the 13 done, so maybe I'll get to 6. I'll be happy with that. Usually my standard is a sweater a year, so 6 is way more than what? Shoot, moon, stars, happy. Okay, and then finally the 13 oldest yarns, no go there. So I'm still at 2 out of 13. So hopefully, community service project, maybe I will pull out some old yarn and bring that with me. Probably, because that stuff's acrylic and that's what they're looking for. So that is the update. And then, one last thing that I wanted to mention is the thread for what are you currently working on. That is a great source of inspiration. I know some people are posting because you're interested in the prize. We'll draw for this next time. But, and then after that, the prize is going to be Loki's Whim by Highland Handmaids in her silver maple sock yarn base. This is a great colorway, and it's a 60% superwash, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon yarn. I did get this at SSK. I did. And it's a gorgeous shiny yarn. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, you want to know the yardage? It's 425 yards. So this deserves to be knit up. If you win this, you can't win this yarn unless you're willing to cast it on immediately and make me feel better about how long this has been sitting in my stash, because it needs love. It is gorgeous. So go post your pictures of whatever is speaking to you at the moment, whatever you're most excited to be knitting on, and you'll be entered to win that yarn, right? And you'll be sharing with me what you're working on. What you're working on, and motivating me to follow along and want to do what you're doing. So, because that's really what's happening. My queue is just growing and growing and growing. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I will see you in 10 days or so. I hope you enjoy what's going on in your last few weeks of summer before the kiddos go back to school and the days get short and cool, and we get to all wear our warm woolies and be happy. So, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Have you noticed he's
getting
wasting less time on the...
Go, Jug, go!
You okay?
Please what?